Hey guys, I'm back after like 6 or 7 months, and I'm least interested to say you that what I was doing in the last 6 months. But yes, I'm back with another kind of a personality, who can actually inspire a lot of you, a lot of us, and has achieved a lot in her life as well. But there's a lot to achieve. So I welcome you, Miss Pratima Gupta, and thank you for taking our time with us. Uh, just to give a brief introduction about Pratima, so she started as a software engineer back in 2000, and then she has worked in companies like Symphony, Telika. Then she was a part of Hawaii, and now she is the HR head of Sequoia, and she's based out in Bangalore. And I welcome you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for welcoming, and I think it's an. I'm also looking forward for this exciting session, Rishikesh, and looking forward to learn from the team here and the audiences here, and see what I can share and how it can help them. Pretty excited.
Yeah. Superb. So Pratima, one of the things that is quite anyone going through your profile will actually observe is that you were not an HR person, from the beginning,
Yeah.
but you transitioned into HR. If you could help us, take through your journey, that what actually inspired you, or what actually conspired to take you from an engineering kind of a person to an HR person, and taking HR as a career then.
Yeah, so I think it is a pretty interesting journey, and I am sure that it is not only with me, everyone would have felt that the things they decide or they plan, the journey doesn't take it that way. You will keep exploring, and the opportunities keep knocking the door, and then you will realize this is your true north. And I think similar thing happens with me. I was very passionate about the engineering, that I wanted to be electronics and communication engineer, so always had that career in mind in the starting. Um, but when I joined engineering, and when I was into electronics and communications, so I was campus selected, and we were working in the Bluetooth technology domains to those days. And from there the journey started. I never thought that the human resources is will be my future career, but yes, it is. I will say it is an opportunity come accident. So when I was doing my it was my development role, I got an opportunity to work into technical documentation. Those days it was a booming field, and not many techie people used to take up that field. And my manager saw a great combination of communication as well as technology knowledge, so he told, why don't you start, just complete this documentation part, and see how we can explain this to the audience very well. So already, the I think the when you work with the very very inspiring leaders, they know your strengths, so they feel you can also add value in different things, not only in one things. So that's how my journey came into technical documentation, and then from there to information architect, and then to the leading the different R&D business team, their communications, their user experience, and
Transformation.
leading the whole departments into R&D. And then coming to HR, I think I'll give all the credit to my leadership. They found, and we were looking for the HR leadership for the Global Services Delivery Center. That's how it started in my organization, and they gave that opportunity. And from there, I thought, I think it is a great field where not only you understand your technical depth, but you can understand the breadth of an organization, and that has been pretty exciting. And since then, and I think somewhere I also realized that when you are a people person,
Hmm.
and when you have an interest in the people, in really unleashing the potential of the people, understanding people, I think human resource can play a bigger role to reach to the masses and truly add value whatever they are doing. So somewhere I think that is there in me. I always focus on, if you will see my team or people who have worked with me, I always believe in unleashing the
Yes.
potential. So that's somewhere I think the destiny and the opportunity met, and that's how I think I pursued my career in HR, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
And this is truly insightful, because a lot of the things which you told is that I have also kind of observed while working with some of the good leaders. So quote unquote good leaders. The definition of leadership is what I learned from my first boss, just after my MBA.
Hmm.
The unleashing potential wala thing, and he exactly knew that what kind of an atmosphere that I have to
Yeah.
create around Rishikesh that he starts performing.
Hmm.
And you know and I don't know why, all these great leaders, they have a sense that something is going on in the mind of this guy. Let me tackle that, because they're so connected, right, with their team, and they don't customize the things, as per the team. They customize the things as per the team, and not try to generalize it for each and everybody. So
So I
again, proving this fact. Yes,
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 yes. I think I completely agree, Rishikesh, with you on that. And second, I will also say that somewhere the destiny also plays a role. So after
yes,
my engineering, I did my MBA from Symbiosis Pune, and I realized I don't know why I did it in 2002 in the personal management. That time, human resource management was called as personal management those days,
yes,
and I learned a lot of things about the human resources that time. And then I think that's the reason it helped me when I was playing the leadership roles, different people management roles, and now from a long time into the human resource space. So I think somewhere the destiny plays a role, the opportunity plays a role, and your own passion to add value also plays a
yes,
bigger
yes. But also the leadership plays a role.
role. Yeah, indeed.
Ma'am, the next question is, so you started from engineering, you went to HR, you
Hmm.
started with electronics engineering, but then you
Hmm.
became a software developer,
Hmm.
and then HR, though you have explained us. But
Yes.
there are a lot of people inside India, who actually pursue other domains, like, they are pursuing mechanical or civil, or let's suppose BCom, and
Hmm.
ultimately, end up in a software career or in an IT career. Uh,
Hmm.
any kind of an insight which you like to give, like, some improvements which are needed, or how can these guys, kind of pursue their career in their core domain?
Hmm. I think very beautiful question, Rishikesh, and thanks for asking this. I think reflecting back into my own journey, I think the engineering is something which teaches us the problem solving. So if you are a great problem solver and you are well aware about your audience needs or your users or customers needs very well, and your mind always works in solving problem, be it a people problem, be it a technical problem, or be it a process problem, any problem, and if you have the ability to solve it, I think that is one of the trait which is required. Second thing is you need to understand the dynamics and the ecosystem. Currently we are in a very changing technological the I call this world as banny world. Okay, we were in a VUCA world earlier,
Yes,
right? Now we are in a banny world. Now what is banny world? Banny world is nothing but which is brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. We really don't know with the corona that what is the next world which is going to come and how we are going to behave. And as an HR or as a technology person, what technology I will be working on, what I will be building on, and how I am adding my value to the society or the community. So I think that's why we should be always agile. Be be a agile person and keep a constant learning mind. You should keep learning every day. So I always tell the people around me, spend minimum 10% of time every day in your new learning, because
yes,
that is something which will remain constant. Change and continuous learning will remain constant, and that is the secret recipe for you to be relevant and keep adding value to whatever you are doing. So I think
yes,
that is the two things which I say, that make yourself very curious, keep learning, and keep seeing whether you are creating that impact and value out of your knowledge. So you don't need only one skill. Today you need all cross skills to be really really successful in this banning world.
that's like, that's like gold mine, like, you told it in such a simple way. Like, I would have taken, like, 10-12 minutes to, like, comprehend it and kind of tell that. But this is so important. Like, learning agility is the key, like, and cross domain. And especially, ma'am, with the startups coming in, a lot of the startups, kind of are flourishing around India. And slowly some of the cities have been started realizing to be a startup capital. And a lot
Hmm.
of culture, seems to be infiltrating into the legacy companies as well.
Mhm.
Maybe it started from a startup going into the legacy companies, a lot of impatience, while hiring talent, and not able to retain them. So what do you think, like the onus of you know yes, so the onus
Yeah.
of basically hiring and retaining talent should lie only on the HR department, or it's also, the function of the leadership as well, let's say the business head?
See, first of all, it's another great question. It
Yes.
The retention is what it is about. You want the talent whom we have hired. You have spent 6 months to hire a great talent, or a great top talent, or an amplifier, I'll call it, to your
Yes.
organization, because you wanted to create a win-win journey. And in
Yes.
this process, or not only HR decides it, right, whom you want in into your culture and the organization. It's a complete decision by the
Yes.
leadership and the management in the panel, right, including HR. So
Yes.
how come only the retention becomes a responsibility of HR? I rather say that the retention is the responsibility of the hiring manager, the manager who is working, the team, which the member is working, or the all the connects point, all the stakeholders, all the culture which we are providing. It's a responsibility of everyone for the retention. So I think it's equal responsibility of the new member also who is joining, that how you faster integrate into the culture. But the
Yes.
more onus of retention is on the management and the leadership, and what the environment, thriving environment, we provide to our new team member to really flourish in the culture. So it's not only HR is an enabler and catalyst to create the right culture, and the create and imbibe and catalyst those core values, which is
Yes.
the purpose of the organization. What is why the existence of an organization is there. So whether that is people are able to experience on that or not. So there, the HR is an enabler, but not only sole responsible for the retention, because retention has many factors.
Absolutely. Absolutely, ma'am. A lot of the things, lie on the business leadership as well, because they have equal say in the hiring, part. So HR,
And
more or
another
less.
important thing is the member is every day interacting with the team, not with the HR,
Yes.
right? So if
Yes.
everyday relationship, every day how he's been perceived, what experience every day he's getting, I think
Yes.
that particular whole environment and the culture is helps the person thrives or retain or disengage, right? So I think
Yes.
that is what we need to focus. So I think a lot of onus goes on the culture and the leadership, and especially the manager who has the highest connect with the member.
Yes. So, so again, a great insight, ma'am. Like, but again, coming back to the startups, like, a lot of, impatient hiring, a lot of hiring, a lot of firing, a lot of attrition all around you. It started with the startups, but then, we are also seeing it amongst the established companies as well. The culture seems to be changing. Now, less amount of focus is being given on learning and development. And again, I'm not generalizing it, because there's a trust deficit that seems to be emerging, not only from the candidate side but from the company side as well, right? Whether the candidate will stick with me or not. Likewise, if you remember, your college days, there was a management trainee program at HUL or Nestle. They used to hire with the
Hmm.
perspective that somebody will stay for 30 years inside the company, but that's not
Yeah.
happening at the end. So who should take the responsibility? Obviously it's a candidate responsibility to stick around, but then how can companies make sure that they're able to inspire people to stick for longer inside the company?
I think with respect to the stickiness factor, okay, the more onus is on the organization, be it a startup or be it a mid-size or be it a big organization. So what I will say, the more onus is on the organization, and who decides, who builds this culture. It is each one of us, each
Yes.
manager, each leadership. So somewhere I feel, see, I will not comment on every startup, because every startup has its own vision and purpose and the mission when they
Yes.
start. And I think when they start, it's a beautiful purpose, beautiful thought process of few founders, right? Founders and the co-founders, and then translating the same core values and vision.
Hmm.
That is the most important key for any organization to be success. So
Yes.
sometimes, if the balance of what is the true purpose for the community which you try to build, and the
Yes.
purpose of the from the technology competitiveness point of view, what you are bringing on to the community. I think that balance is very, very important. Is,
Yes.
are your employees or your team members are truly able to realize the purpose every day or not? Are the people in your company are motivated, or they also see the same win-win or the same path together in their journey? Their own career journey is aligning with the purpose of the organization for which it is established or not, and that is every day. And is there a challenge to them every day? If there is no challenge, and if they feel monotonous in their work, obviously the disengagement will come. And if they feel the organization is not caring for them, and they don't know how is their work on an everyday basis, their goals are directly mapping to the purpose of an organization, I think if that goalpost is not clear to the people, the disengagement will come. Unfortunately, in my experience, what I have seen, I think this, with this corona and people
Yes.
working only from work from home, has created a lot of distance between an organization culture and the team member. They're not able to experience something which a human can only experience in the face to face interactions.
Yes.
And that is also, and that is why today many people talk about hybrid. We shouldn't go to the age, in my opinion, to 100% work from office. We shouldn't go to the 100% remote. We should, each one of us and each HR leader, each leader should invest how to make this hybrid a success, because it has its both positives and negatives, right? So
Yes.
we need to take the pros of all the sides, and then try to make this hybrid success, so that people can learn the culture, people can thrive in culture, they can appreciate, they can do lot of learning which happens only in workplace.
Yes.
Today, if we work from home, how much learning which you are getting from your team members?
Yes.
Very less, right? And how much retention remains, all of us know. So I think if we really want to be a more if see a continuous learning growth in our knowledge, in our learning, in our relationship, and truly build the meaningful relationships, I think very important as we leverage the hybrid. And that is where I think all the startups need to think that they are defining a purpose, they are defining a new standard or in that particular technology area wherever they are working. And India is in an exciting space, right, with respect to startup. So much innovations happening, and innovation cannot happen without collaboration. And collaboration is maximum is possible by leveraging the hybrid concept. So I think
Yes.
that's the beauty of it. So I think somewhere the people hire and fire which is going on, they need to relook into their models. They need to relook into that, it is not only about fundings, it is about you are creating a purpose for
Yes.
yourself, for your own organization, and for your team members. And when that gets diluted, I think the state of losing the talent happens. And
Yes.
there is some onus on the team members and the employees also. I think if you look for a money, it's never, there is, that journey will never end. But if you look for the knowledge, and if you look for the meaningful relationship, that has a lot of value in a long term professional careers.
Yes. Absolutely, ma'am. And there's one thing as well. It takes 3 4 years, for a founder to build a startup.
Correct.
Failing multiple times, two three times, and then the fourth startup succeeding. The same thing they should translate into their team members as well.
Yeah.
That give a scope to fail, and plus basically help them with the solution. My observation has been a lot of startups, not all of them obviously. There are
Mm,
tremendous entrepreneurs to look upon, but a lot of startups have raised funds, but
mm,
the founder doesn't have any leadership skills. uh, Maybe a very strong statement to make, but I've seen that happening in front of me, right? They don't have a solution to the problem. They just think that
yeah.
since they've hired somebody,
Mm,
he should get it done. uh, you know no sharing of kind of viewpoints, and then solutioning. It's all kind of pointing fingers on others.
mm,
What are
mm.
your viewpoints on that, ma'am? Like,
I think not only the startup founders, I think everyone needs a mentor and guide and a coach in their career. If you really want to be on the top of the game, and you really want to handle the challenges, as I told you, in this Banny world, you don't know what challenges you will face.
yeah.
You need to have a mentor, coach, and guide in your whichever the organization, be it a startup or be it you are in any new professional role. So
Hmm.
always be very inclusive, because what happens, we think what we are doing is right. It
Hmm.
may not be. You need that technical expertise, you need that kind of, behavioral expertise, you need that soft skills, I will say, and these are the life skills, I'll call it. So rather than soft skill, they are the really life skills which we need to
Yes.
have to build the true purpose. I again will come to the purpose. If the purpose is not clearly gone to the people, so be it a leader, you need to keep learning. Leadership is a, like a, you practice the best doctors are the most experienced doctors. Same way is the
Yes.
leadership. The more experience and the more challenges you will get, in handling people, in handling the different business challenges, the different situations, right? That's how you become the true leader. So I think very important is each one of us, the leaders, need to reinvent themselves. When they were at, and basis your size of the organization, when you are 2 member, when you are 50 members, when you're less than 100, when you're less than 500, there's a pivotal shifts which every organization makes. And that time you need, during every shift from 0 to 1, from 1 to 10, to 10 to 100, you need different level of mentors and the guides to help you have a smooth transition for your team members as well as for your organization culture. And how, what your true purpose you started with is still relevant or not, or you
Yes.
need to make a change to it. So I think very, very important point, Rishikesh, and thanks for asking. I think we all need a great mentor. I do have a lot of mentors who guide me,
Even I
who
do have, ma'am.
yes, so
Now I have
everyone
added you in
needs.
the list as well.
So I think, yeah, thank you. Even I keep learning, and I always believe no one is perfect. Okay,
Yes.
we can, and you told 3 years and startup takes. In my opinion, any startup to be successful, 7 years minimum it will take. It is
Yes.
a very hard journey. It is not an easy journey. What people see, it's a lucrative world, right? Like we
Yes.
think film is a 3 hours output, but
Yes.
the hard work, the pain which goes into building one movie, right? Same way it is a startup stories. Startup is not so lucrative world. It's a lot of hard work, pain, thoughts, the emotions which goes into, from a concept to an organization, from a concept to a culture, and that organization will be known for its culture and what they are, bringing the impact. So I think it's a really an inspirational story, and it's not an easy journey. And I think the rate of startup success rate in
Yes.
India as well
Definitely.
as globally, right? It's very, very less. So I think there's a lot goes into it, making of a company. And really hats off to the people who take up this risk and the
Yes.
challenge and work on the vision.
Yes. Really, some of the folks like Kunal Shah and Kunal, well, all these people are really, the people to whom, a lot of us, look upon. I
Hmm.
also look upon Vijay Shekhar Sharma, to be a disruptor, in
Hmm.
the UPI tech,
Indeed.
which India is so proud of now.
Hmm.
So, truly said, ma'am. Ma'am, I will now like to take you back to your childhood. I would like to understand that, you take us through your childhood and tell us a few things that shaped your life.
I think very beautiful it is. See, I'm from a defense background. My dad was in Air Force. Okay, so as I told you, all the credit what I'm today goes to my childhood, and I thank my dad who gave me that environment and culture where one thing was very constant. That is a change.
Yes.
So we have never stayed in one place in India. We keep moving every 3 years. In the 3 years, also, you don't stay in one house. You keep changing your houses because of that's a hierarchical system, right? First, you have non-status quarters, then you have status quarters, and then you will be changing the schools, because if you don't get in one school, the different people, you are totally getting adjusted to different cultures every 3 years, right? A
Yes.
different school, a different city, the teachers are different, the kids are different around you, and you have to prove yourself and create an impact, right?
Yes.
So I have studied in KVs in my schooling, and I think that is what taught me, that what remains constant with this change, and how do you embrace that change beautifully, and how you create an impact, and be agile. Today you are in the north of India, tomorrow you will be in south of India, and then other 3 years you will be in the west or east of India. And then you will realize, so you become a truly global Indian, and you start
Yes.
appreciating every culture, you start
Yes.
appreciating the inclusivity factor,
Yes.
diversity factor, And that is what I think a lot goes into my childhood memories and what I'm today, and I'm able to appreciate everyone, every talent, every person around me, or every diversified thought around me, is because of that childhood environment which I've got from my parents.
That's super. Like, parents have a enormous amount of role to play in our life. And
Yeah.
seriously, when I talk to my colleagues, we really, after kind of, getting emotional and all that, we usually, talk about this, that at least they gave us great ethics. They
Yeah,
gave us great
very
work
important.
ethics. Yes.
Very, very important. And more important is the love for the country. So that love
Yes.
for a
Yes.
country translates for love for the organizations we work for,
Yes.
love for
Yes.
the people we work around the people we work for. So I think that love is something we become little emotional, we'll become attached, and we become more value based leadership,
Yes.
or the value based things comes inside us. And I think, yeah, somewhere there is the defense do teach us that what is the most important in your life. So there you may not be able to earn in terms of your dollars and the rupees, but you will be really able to earn a lot of respect and a lot of things which is required for a great companionship, great relationships with the
Yes.
people, and the meaningful relationships, I will call it.
Yes. And this reminds me of one of the incidences. Like, we used to live in a very simple, two-room kind of a flat in one of the most, not so developed, part of India. And
Yes, yes.
whenever India used to win, you know,
uh,
so the light used to go off, right? At the night, right? So we used to
yeah.
listen on the radio and all that, that is in 1990s. But still, the patriotism was
Yeah,
so much imbibed by my mother.
too much.
And we used to go on the terrace and used to sing Janagana Mana. And we were like
Yes.
three, third class standard kids. So I
I
really
think,
thank, for our father and mother, what they
yes,
have done to
I
us.
think we should. A lot of gratitude goes there, and I think somewhere that culture, how in such a distracted world, where
Yes.
the instant gratification became the
Yes.
key for today's generation and all of us, I think we are transforming. Somewhere we are losing and fading away those strong values, those strong happiness which still lies in our memories. How we can make our next generation to experience or to really believe that this is possible, that the maybe in some our Indians are playing somewhere in the different part of the world, we still celebrate and we feel so happy about it, not being part of it still.
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Yes.
Patriotism is very, very important
Yeah. Means
with a
leadership like
globalized mindset.
um,
Yeah,
yeah, APJ Abdul Kalam, who single-handedly, kind of, transformed ISRO into a world-level organization,
yeah.
is again
Indeed.
an example which we always used to hear from the very childhood from our father and mother.
True.
Next, so from role model. So since we talked about APJ Abdul Kalam, so I will ask you, who is your role model and what is your goal in life?
You have already spoken about my role model, that is Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad, and
Yes,
I was
yes, that
surprised
is
with
zero.
that. So I consider Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad as my role model because he really exemplifies the leadership with empathy, which is truly required in today's world. I really love that his lines. It's a greatly line. Great lines which inspires me whenever I face any odds and the situations which is not as I have expected. That all the birds find shelter during the rain, all the birds
Yes,
find shelter during a rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds. So problems are common, but attitude makes a difference. So I think that
yes,
is what we need to learn from his powerful lines. Whenever you face any odd or whenever you face a challenge, you don't you need to be eagle. Okay,
yes.
you need to change your trajectory to the next level where you don't see that rain and you can see get the problem, and you see the problem with a different mindset, and you can face any challenge. You need to really change your trajectory that time.
Ma'am, that line actually defines your entire personality. That,
I'm
that
still
single line.
learning.
So hybrid work culture, so we have talked about like what are the pros and cons of it. But
Hmm.
hybrid में कितना hybrid? मतलब 50-50, 60-40, what kind of hybrid?
Okay, so there is no defined formula. As I told, we are in a banny world, anxious world. We don't know what will be the really right combination or right formula. It all depends upon how much the team members of your team have understood, or the employees of your organization have understood hybrid, right? When I say hybrid, it is about the core values, how your team is reflecting the core values which your organization has established. That should go as a DNA, right? So be it
Yes.
a self responsibility, be it a teamwork, be it a collaboration. So how on the in the ground it is happening. If you feel the collaboration is getting impacted more, then bring a formula of more number of days in the office, or the culture is getting diluted. If you feel somewhere everything is going well but the work life balance is not getting, then you bring that, because people need a balance. Nothing can go, one formula will never work for same every organization the same way. So every organization need to experiment, but I personally feel 2 to 3 days in office is a great formula, and where both the mix of both, the great mix of both is both the worlds we can use, and we can really make a thriving culture.
Yeah. So once you say 2 to 3 days, I think most of the people would be thinking that it should be Monday, Tuesday, when Monday, Tuesday off, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday working, so that Saturday, Sunday can be extended, and then we can go to Kurg. So
So I think as I told you, there's no secret. But most of the time, people Friday they wanted to relax, right? That's a mindset of IT world, at least I know. And now we are left with 4 days. So in the 4 days, whatever the best combination works for the team. But in Bangalore, at least I can say Wednesday is not a great day, because most of the people and most of the companies celebrate Wednesday work days concept, right?
yes.
So with that, the highest number of traffic people have to spend on the roads on the Wednesday, and thanks to the beautiful roads of Bangalore and the traffic situation of Bangalore. So I think the Monday, Tuesday, and the Thursdays seems to be good if you want to spend less time, and if you wanted to
Yes.
enjoy the traffic, then keep Wednesdays also.
Yeah, because it takes one day to go out of Bangalore and to come back.
I really want IT companies in all the parts of the Bangalore to have a barometer, the how many companies are working on which days, so that we can decide what all is left with.
That's
And
a great startup idea, ma'am, basically, right? To manage the traffic, right?
another startup idea which I keep telling in different
Yes.
leadership forum of HR, that one company should think about a credibility score of an employee. We have a
Hmm.
financial score, CIBIL score. There should be a
Hmm.
credibility score of the professionals, so that the
Hmm.
company can take some decisions on that. Okay, the people, half the people problem can be solved with that.
So, what are the various metrics that you will,
That I will tell you
you will
after that.
measure?
Make me watch.
Ma'am, this is a great business idea, actually. Credibility score. I will
Mm,
seriously, think on this. Maybe we can create a
yeah.
platform and we can sell it as a SaaS,
And
tool to
there
the
is no
companies.
no startup, no company has worked on it yet.
Yes,
And this
yes.
is every HR leader's problem, or managers or leaders' problem.
That is
Yeah.
what happens when you talk to, somebody who has got 20 plus years of experience, experiencing all different facets of HR.
Yeah.
So that is why
Yeah.
experience is very important, along with all that hustle, innovation, and all that things. Ma'am, the next question is, so attrition and cost of hiring,
Hmm.
right? So we have already discussed it. So I would like to, merge it with another question. Is that there's a lot of innovation, is basically coming in the hiring platforms. Like a lot of platforms
Mhm.
are gamifying it, using AI, ML. Or what do you think? Like, is it really going to solve the hiring problem? Can it reduce the cost of hiring or the tag to hire? Or we need a different approach?
I think we need to use a dual approach here.
Okay.
Something which is, or automated, or which AI and ML can give the insights and inference using the social footprints, or basis the whatever the information available about the candidate. Okay, so first is most important is, are you getting the right fit at the right time at the right role? Okay, that's what is defined as at to avoid the success formula for attrition. And any right doesn't match, the attrition will happen. Either the person will not be in right role, he will not be at a right fit from the culture and the organization point of view, or he will not be at the right time,
Hmm.
right? So you would have hired early and now you need to fire it.
Yes.
So I think very very important is the what is our strategy to hire the talent. You ask about that, how the attrition, can really impact us. So I think, if leadership, and we are very clear about the talent, the compensation, where we are positioning that person, also it matters on his retention, his or her retention skills. Second thing is, when the most important for leadership is to assess the people with the human touch. So these tools which you are talking about, AI, ML, they can give you the data which is available, which the
Yes.
system knows it, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of behavioral things which
Hmm.
will only know by questioning, and how the person is going to respond to different situation. There is a
Yeah.
work mask which every professional wears it. They are very different personality, but at a workplace they behave differently. In a
Yes.
normal way they behave differently, but when the stress situation comes on the work, they behave differently. So you need to understand that. Yeah, some psychometric tools can help you in giving some insights, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of probe during interviews, and that no AI, no machine can replace that. It can give
Yes.
you insight, but you need to reconfirm that by asking the right questions to the candidate, how they are going to behave, and is that behavior is okay with you as per your culture and the core values. So
Yes.
interviews, the skill interviews, the life interviews are very very important to really merge AI ML as well as a human touch and your human intelligence and human experience to assess what you really need. Is this person is truly going to be a value amplifier in my organization, and my team is going to thrive with this value add. Any member you get into the family, the
Hmm.
family should feel happy about it, right?
But
And
then
any
sometimes
wrong
you
to the
don't have a
family.
control on which member is coming to the family, ma'am.
No, so the leadership is responsible. Everyone need to take accountability for this. That is what I'm
Yes.
saying. It's a very, very, so don't become very mechanical only using AI ML tool. They are adding a play, they're playing a great value in term giving a lot of comprehensive inputs, which we
Yes.
don't have as such today. And I mean, still a lot of companies are working on it. And my company Sequoia is also in the HR technology
Yes.
space. So I think we understand it's a beautiful concept, and I think companies are really creating a lot of categories into it. It is going to be a great revolution, I can say that. But human touch we shouldn't forget. That comes with the strong experiences, and that we should combine and before hiring anyone, so that you give a benefit of doubt also. Sometimes that information footprints may have some flaws, right? There's a mistake
Yes.
can happen. So these things you need to revalidate using your human interviews, your touch point, high touch points.
Hmm. Or maybe if there is a footprint, like if we can track, like was you were talking about employee credibility score
Hmm.
or something like this, which can track your entire
You need to
footprint.
question that. You
Yes.
need to try it in your interviews and ask and clarify it. Just don't go blindly by because this data is available, but you can always, ask that and give a benefit of doubt to the people that maybe in some scenario something, or maybe that information itself is wrong, which is put in that, and he can go and correct if he knows it.
Yes. Yes. And everybody, commits mistake at one part of their life or the other.
And they
We
may
keep
not
on.
know. Nowadays, this is a fake world. You're hearing about so many fake things
It's
around,
a
so you
very
don't
fake
know.
world, ma'am. I've seen a lot of founders talking so much on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
I know them personally. They are completely different.
Yeah. So I think that's where the understanding of what is real and not real, the boundary is becoming very, very thin. And
Yes.
that is like, we are seeing so much around us with this technology, a lot of threats with this AI, a lot of threats are also coming. Now, I think the more onus is on our technology, how to understand, how to really differentiate what is real and what is not real,
Hmm.
or and what is real only, rather.
Yes. So with that, I would like to mention, two of the previous bosses that I've worked with. One is Manish
Hmm.
Singh, with whom I was
Hmm.
working at Pristine Care, and the other one is
Okay.
Sanjay Johri, with whom I was
Okay.
working at Sterlite Power. I've seen like
Hmm.
they are the most real ones.
Hmm.
What they are there inside, they're there outside.
Correct. Very,
So
very important.
uh, they are an inspiration to me. Whatever I become in my life, but I will always kind of give that credit to them to teach me
Yeah.
how to be original. Um,
That's
the next
that's very
question, yeah, yeah. The next question is, in this age of social media,
true. Mm-hmm.
where people are getting swayed away by what is visible and they're
Hmm.
getting misguided
Hmm.
by a lot of things, what will be your message and what will be your advice to all the youngsters? and even to people who are not youngsters anymore.
I think everyone should be young by heart, irrespective
Yes,
of the
yes,
age.
exactly.
Yeah, I think very, very important. And I think at least our generation, I will say, is dealing with five generations.
Hmm.
Okay. And young by heart is very, very important. So, my key message is God has given how many sense organs,
Five.
right? Use use all the senses to believe the things. Don't only believe sight.
Hmm.
Don't only believe ear. Use all the senses to really understand what is real, what is not real, what is
Yes,
fake, what is you can really believe it. So before believing, please try to use. Now unfortunately, with the lot of digital addiction which is coming,
yes,
somehow the youngsters are feeling, okay, what is they're showing, what the videos are coming, and whatever I'm seeing is real. It may not be real. As I told you, that people feel the movie is great and bad in just 3 hours, they will say, okay, no one knows the pain behind it. And that's a movie, that's a reel, right? But in the real life, it may not be. Their stories are totally different. As you
yes,
told some examples, some founders, they give some stories, but in the reality it is something different.
yes,
So the ability to understand and use all your senses to start believing and taking something as a role model, something really right, and start following it, be very cautious and careful.
yes,
Making someone as a role model, first of all, you need to have enough research. Is it truly a role model? Is the person, is there a truth there, or is it just a showcase, right,
yes,
without having any meat into it? So I think very, very, very important, this ability to understand, start believing, and taking someone as a role model. You need to be really, really intelligent enough, do a lot of research, have the right guides and mentor. This is what path I'm taking, this is what I feel I want to become, or this is what I need to follow the practice. Is it will really make me reach wherever my goalpost or the destination or my true ikigai or true north is. So I
yes,
think be very, very conscious before you start following someone or start believing or you want to become someone. Is it really where you want to be? Otherwise, you will find yourself totally disintegrated because you would have followed long time something, and then you would have realized, no, this is not, this is totally fake, this is totally crap, and you would have lost the time. That's all. Learning, I mean, failures are the best teachers. I always say you should experience failures. I myself has experienced failure in everything in my life, and failures are the only best way to go the highest peak in your every aspect wherever you have failed. So touch the failure, you will go to the next high, and believe in yourself.
yes. It's like that's like inspiring. Like as always, it's inspiring. Ma'am, so the one question which I would like to plug in is that a lot of things are being told about having women leadership inside the organization. And personally, if you ask me, like I seriously have felt that I feel more comfortable working with women leadership
Hmm,
till now
hmm,
with whom I've actually worked with, because there
hmm.
comes a tinge of both logical as well as emotional connect, which is already there.
Very.
What are your
Hmm,
views on that, and how can organization promote women to
hmm,
be to be at the leadership position? But because still, if you see the data, it says something else.
hmm. You're right. I think, fortunately and unfortunately, my personal belief is don't treat women differently.
Yes,
Okay, don't have a specific bias basis a gender. Okay, so I think that needs a lot of rework from the Indian society point of view.
yes,
Because historical reasons, everyone knows. So I think the very important is when you're hiring, don't have that women factor in your mind or any diversity the factor in your mind. You focus on the capability and the potential and the true I'll say the high skills of a person.
yes,
Okay, so I think the factor, the female and male should not be shown before the interviews are happening. You should only talk about the candidate. AI should mask that.
hmm.
This should be known at the end when you're hiring. Telling at the time of hiring. When the
Yes,
person is in the system, I think
hmm.
the lot onus goes on the leadership and the
Yes,
culture which the leaders are creating around. It's a lead by example concept. I should say it, the onus goes on the leadership, that what you wanted to call that as a role model. Are you really promoting the excellence irrespective of the gender of a person, or you are promoting excellence basis the gender of the person, considering the, oh, she's a mother, oh, she's married, now she cannot work hard, she's a
Yes.
mother, she cannot work hard. So those biases and typecast which is on the women, I think that was very unfair. Without knowing a person, maybe she's a mother but she's a better planner than men,
Absolutely. Yes.
right? She
Yes.
can do multitasking, she can take
Yes.
care of the people. So I think we need to leverage women, in my opinion, basis the strengths. So understands the strengths of every individual, be it a woman, be it a man. What are the strengths which a man gets on the table, what are the strengths which women or the other genders gets on the table? We need to work on strengths and then decide. And women comes with lot of diversity thoughts,
Yes.
lot of thoughts in terms of, when you make a decision on the board table. I will see, I have personally seen in the past, there is a one view will come about some decision, and women will bring totally a different aspect. And a decision to be really good in a long term, this comprehensive view is very very important. And that gets lacked when in the boardrooms or in different levels of decision making, when the decision making is not inclusive and diversified. And that is where women adds, and that is why today many companies have realized it, and they started focusing, we cannot lead the technology only with one kind of a diversified, one kind of people. We need a different kind of people to have a truly inclusive world which we are heading. And that is an untapped potential. You know how much untapped potential India has. Women, there's so many women who are capable, they start their career,
Yes.
they have a great education, but they break their careers because of the personal commitments. I think that
Yes.
is a hidden potential. If that potential will also come to the workforce with the flexibilities and with the maturity of our group leadership to
Yes.
add them in, India economy will boom like anything. And I think many of our leaders have understood this. So please
Yes.
don't take decision based on the genders at every level in your organization. Take the
Yes.
decisions based on the strengths and based
Mm.
on the value the diversity and inclusivity brings on the table.
Yes. And for all the people, watching, they should not create stereotypes that,
Yeah.
girls can't do anything. Girls can achieve as much as, boys can, and even more than that. And
Yeah.
and when women are actually empowered, it gives a lot of bandwidth to the men to take a lot of risks in their life. So
Yeah. So women keep taking risk, right? Leaving the job, then coming back to the job and losing that track, right?
yes.
For some time. And yeah, I think everyone. And I think sometimes we are also very harsh on men. We need to be very, very clear. It's not only men's responsibility. I think we are equal. If we have a similar level of education, we have a similar level of upbringing, I think it's a both's responsibility to create a best relationships and best workplaces.
Yes. Now, so last question,
Mm,
last but not the least, is that what will be your message to everybody who is looking forward to start a
mm,
career in HR,
mm.
and mostly the graduates, or the newly graduates?
Hmm. I think very, very important as we are navigating into the ever evolving landscape of work, right? We are heading towards the future of work, which we call it, right?
Yes.
So let's embrace as a youngster. Please embrace all the opportunities that change brings. So leverage technology, nurture the your skills, and be a part of the environments that inspire the excellence as a individual contributor. So, and as an HR, those who are coming into the HR fraternity, so you are not managing human resources. I think remember this principle. We are not only managing the talent or managing the human resources. We are going to shape the future of work. So our dedication should fuel the engine of progress. Okay, so when I say engine of progress, it means that there will be challenges, so focus on your organizational spirit and the cultural values and all, and fill your wisdom, bring empathy, resilience, and transformative impact in whatever you do. You are doing a talent acquisition or you are joined as a trainee, see what is how your work will add value to the organizational vision, how you are creating an organizational contribution. Have that in mind. So only three words I will say, three E's: elevate, empower, excel. So whatever you are doing, just reset, reset, reset. Elevate, empower, and excel to be a truly highly impactful HR in the future of work.
So guys, elevate, empower, and excel. Remember three words when you're going for the next interview, and tell that this is what I want to achieve by becoming an HR.
Yeah, I think
Elevate,
it is.
empower, and excel.
I think HR is in a driving seat today. Fortunately,
Yes.
from managing the processes, managing the policies, managing the rule based. I think we are in a table where we are driving the strategy. We are being
Yes.
part of the strategy. When the corona happened, everyone looked up to the HR. Okay, what next? How we will make it? How the business will work? And I think that
Yes.
is a very exciting place for in this profession to be in is today, and we are very fortunate. So don't miss this opportunity. I think this is we are in the best position, and please equip yourself with strategic, with stakeholder management, with whatever the skills required, resilience, empathy, and all.
Yes.
Understand soft part, understand hard part, and see how you're solving the business problem via people. People first.
Absolutely. So, since so we have to end it here. Otherwise, we can like basically, if ma'am has time, I can go on for like 2 3 hours. Like, it's an inspirational, conversation. After a long time, I actually, got to meet somebody, who is really inspirational in her career, in her personal viewpoints, and really a real kind of a personality, because this is not the first time that I'm talking to ma'am. This is the third time I think that we are talking. And thank you, ma'am, for taking our time, for this session. And I
Thanks,
really hope that,
Rishikesh.
yeah, and I really hope
Thanks.
that this session will inspire a lot of people, to pursue a career in HR. But as ma'am told, remember the 3 pointers, right? And also remember that it's also about your destiny, right? So don't think that if I want to get into HR, I have to get into HR right now. You can start somewhere, and then you can navigate
Yeah.
your way to being an HR.
Anytime, anytime. You need a right leaders. That's it around you.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
with that,
Again, come.
wish you very, very happy Deepavali, Rishikesh, to you, and a lot of luck to your, the new venture which you have started stealth. I think great work you guys are doing, and wish you all the best. And happy Diwali to everyone and you too and your family.
Thanks so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, ma'am, and looking forward to meet you physically also in your office.
Yeah, in person, surely we should meet. Yeah. Thank you.